Vietnam has a population of 97 million, and Japanese-made cars account for 80% of Vietnam's auto market. Why does the Vietnamese market let Japanese cars dominate? Hi! Welcome to Auto Age. Before we started today's video, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Okay, let's get started. Although Japan was a defeated country in World War II, Japan was not dragged down by the defeat. After the war, Japan quickly sought a road of development. Because of the island country, Japan lacks mineral resources, has a small land area, and has few labor resources. So, it failed to develop labor-intensive industries. Japan has taken a new path to develop science and technology and master the core technology of each industry. Through continuous efforts, Japan has made outstanding achievements in science and technology, and Japan's economy has also achieved remarkable development, becoming one of the 4 Asian tigers. At that time, Japan really mastered the advanced technology of some industries, and the development of various industries was also extremely rapid, especially in the field of automobile manufacturing. Japanese cars at that time were very popular, even comparable to German cars and American cars. So, why is the car market in Vietnam dominated by Japanese cars? Nowadays, when people buy cars, they often choose German, American, Japanese, and Chinese cars. More often, the cars made in the 4 countries are evenly divided. However, to everyone's surprise, Japanese cars dominate the Vietnamese market. Walking on the streets of Vietnam, Japanese cars can be seen everywhere, and only a few of them are non-Japanese cars. Many people are very confused about this. In fact, there are traces that Japanese cars can occupy the Vietnamese market. First of all, in the late 1990s, Vietnam's economy developed smoothly. In order to reduce the travel time, many Vietnamese families bought motorcycles. After entering the 21st century, motorcycles are more popular in Vietnam, and every family has at least one motorcycle. At that time, some developed countries in the world had already popularized automobiles, and motorcycles were facing great difficulties. Of course, Vietnam's demand for motorcycles has made many countries optimistic about the Vietnamese market. In the end, Japan took the lead in winning the Vietnamese market. At that time, Japanese motorcycles occupied 98% of the Vietnamese market. Today, with the development of the economy, among the more than 97 million people in Vietnam, about 7 million people have a monthly income of more than 5,000 yuan. They are rich, so they give up motorcycles and drive private cars. While Vietnamese families renew their transportation method, Japan has reappeared. Today, Japanese cars account for 80% of the Vietnamese market, and Vietnam and Japan have a basis for cooperation. Secondly, Japan is a very smart country. After seeing Vietnam's demand for cars, Japan does not transfer its surplus industries to Vietnam. According to the terrain of Vietnam, the usage habits and consumption of Vietnamese people, Japan has carefully designed cars suitable for Vietnam. Although Vietnam's economy is constantly developing, Vietnam does not pay too much attention to urbanization construction. The roads in Vietnam are mostly muddy roads. As a developed country, Japan has made great achievements in urbanization construction, so the cars produced in Japan and some countries are not suitable for Vietnam. Japan has carefully designed cars suitable for Vietnam. Compared with cars produced in other countries, cars produced in Japan are obviously more in line with the actual needs of the Vietnamese people. Therefore, Vietnamese people are willing to buy cars made in Japan. After all, customers like to buy customized products. In March this year, Honda sold more than 150,000 cars in Vietnam, up 17.3% month-on-month. Thirdly, considering the economic level of the Vietnamese people, the cars produced by Japan are very fuel efficient, although they are not superior in appearance. In recent years, Vietnam's economic development has been accelerating, but there are not many rich Vietnamese families, so their purchasing ability is still insufficient. More importantly, Vietnam does not have too many mineral resources. The reason why Vietnam can develop is because of its cheap labor force. Now the price of oil is rising. For Vietnam, which has no resources, oil is obviously a big burden. Therefore, whether cars can save oil is also a question for Vietnamese people to consider. Japanese cars have solved this problem very well. Finally, when we buy a car, we not only consider the practicality and appearance of the car, but also consider the cost of car maintenance. The price of some cars is relatively low, but the price of post-maintenance is not low. For ordinary families, post-maintenance is a big burden. In order to occupy the Vietnamese market, Japan also took this into consideration and built some parts manufacturers in Vietnam. In this way, the transportation cost is greatly reduced, and the labor cost in Vietnam is relatively low, so the cost of spare parts is greatly reduced, and the Vietnamese people have no worries about the future. The reason why Japan can occupy Vietnam's automobile market is that it deeply considers the needs of buyers. Of course, the reason why Vietnamese like to buy Japanese cars has a lot to do with their ideas. In their perception, Japanese cars are the best cars, so they are willing to buy them. China's own brand cars have developed rapidly in recent years, especially the car companies represented by BYD and others have made great progress in fully investing in the electric vehicle business. Are Chinese cars popular in Vietnam? What is the difference between Chinese cars and Chinese motorcycles in the past? What are the car brands in China? In fact, Chinese cars have entered the Vietnamese market in large numbers. According to preliminary statistics from the General Administration of Customs, in February 2022, according to statistical data, the number of import declarations for various types of automobiles increased by 102.3% compared with the import volume of the previous month. Imports of various types of vehicles to Vietnam in February came from 4 major markets: Thailand, India, China, and the United States. We can see that Chinese cars already account for 11.8%. Although this proportion seems to be small, it is still relatively high. According to relevant analyses and investigations in many aspects, the impression in the minds of Vietnamese in the past 2 years is that great changes have taken place in regard to Chinese cars and Chinese manufacturing. Why do Vietnamese people have a great change in Chinese manufacturing now? Because China's development is really very fast. You can see it in the past few years. China's manufacturing has become more and more mature. In the future, China's automobiles will also be like ASEAN, and it is very likely that zero tariffs will be achieved. Although the after-sales service of Chinese cars in Vietnam has not been perfected, and the credibility of Chinese cars is still unable to compete with Nissan cars, etc., but this is only a matter of time. Okay, that's all for today. Please put your comments below and share your insightful ideas with other people. Do you want to learn about more auto stories? Please keep following our channel and like our videos. Thank you so much for your continuous support. Your precious time with us is highly appreciated. See you.